You're listening to Saturday Morning Media. And now, back to our show. Here we go.
Welcome once again to the Grantcast. My name is Grant Baciocco. It is a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading. I guess you have to download first and then listen. But you can always download and not listen. And I guess you could listen on the website. You can listen at grantcast.com. So, thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for being here. And a big shout out to all our Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons who help make the videos on this channel possible. Seriously, if it weren't for them, this would not be happening. Hi, friends. This is episode number 267. I'm recording this on Monday, November 17th, 2025, and it has been a wild couple of weeks. Been very fortunate to be getting some work, and that is always good. And I actually have work 3 days this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I wanted to get this recorded because I want to. I know I always say it, but I want to keep on a schedule. So Halloween came and went. Last year on Halloween, I was working the Chucky show up at Universal Studios Hollywood. They did not do the show this year, and I think for the simple reason that even though they have the puppet, they don't have anything Chucky to promote other than just Chucky. So why spend money on it? I don't know. I don't make the decisions. But last year they had a show. There was a show on, I think on the Sci-Fi Channel. So anyway, that's why they're not, that's why they didn't do a show this year is my feeling and my opinion. So what I did was I did my tribute to Dan Wright, a.k.a. Easel Monster, and I heckled trick-or-treaters with a puppet. It went very, very well. We put up a sign at the end of the driveway that says, if you come up here, you will be filmed. We are filming this here today. So I'm hoping that we don't have to blur anybody's faces when we put it up. I'm sure people will still get mad and whatever, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be a while before we edit that footage anyway, but anyway, it was a fun time, and man, I'll tell you, we flew through 2 giant bags of candy, and we were done. We turned off all the lights, and we were packing up, like, because I had a little puppet blind, and I had I had a little setup for my little puppet character, and we're bringing that in, and kids were still coming to the door, trick or treat. I'm like, no, there's no light. There was no lights on. I was using my phone. And they must have thought like, oh, this is a scary house or something. But I was like, nope, it's not a scary house. Get out of here. There's no candy. But there you go. I did not indulge in a ton of, in fact, I don't think I had any Halloween candy now that I'm thinking about it. And that is because I have really, as you know, I've tried to be losing weight and getting in better shape. With my accountability partner from the path course that I have. We've really been, I've really just, I'm saying I want to do 2 5-mile walks a week. I want to walk every single day. 2 of those walks will be 5-mile walks. And I want to start eating better. And so literally the past couple of weeks, it's raining here today. So that kind of puts the kibosh on the walks. But I have been getting up at 6, and as soon as I get up, I get out the front door, and I go out the front door and I take like at least a 30-minute walk. Even if I am planning on doing a longer 5-mile walk later that day, I just go out and do a 30-minute walk. So I've been doing that. And then my friend Russ Walko told me about the Noom app, and it's just kind of a way to track your food. So I started using that, and I will say that I like it. And it is working. I don't want to go in too much of how it's working, but it's working good. And so I'm really sticking to it, and it is a lot of fun. And it is kind of changing, because the way the new map works is it's a little bit like Weight Watchers, where you track all your food and there's calories and all this other kind of stuff, but you you can eat more of green foods, and of course green foods are vegetables and fruit and things like that. And then there's yellow foods and there's orange foods. And but it really kind of trains your mind to, wait, if I eat this, it'll use up less of my daily allowance than if I eat eat the Halloween candy. So the other thing I like about the Noom app is they have these little like daily lessons, and they're just 2-minute long. These little 2-minute long, you can either read them or you can listen to them. It is like an AI voice reading it to you, but nothing like that hasn't been on computers for years. I say it's an AI voice. It's a computer voice that reads the article. I don't think it's AI. But I've been listening to these little lessons, and one of these lessons I thought was really great, and it talked about that inside of you have an inner bear and an inner owl, and the bear will be a bear and just eat whatever it wants to eat, because that's what bears do. They just eat, and they don't care about what they eat. They eat. I don't really think they picked an owl as the other animal, and the reason they picked the owl is, but owls are wiser and they're smarter and they think about their foods. It's like, do they really, or do they just see a mouse and eat a mouse? You know what I mean? I get that owls are smart, and that's the connotation of the how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll? Owls are wise. So the way that they're kind of framing this is, if you let your inner bear take over, your inner bear is just going to eat whatever it wants to eat, and it's just going to eat nonstop, and it's not going to think about what it's eating. But the owl is wise, and the wise owl will think about what you're eating. And I kind of like that, because I kind of feel that sometimes I guess I am a little bit like a bear, where it's just like, oh, I'll eat this. I know it's horrible for me, but I'm just going to scarf it right down. So that's interesting. And for the past 2 weekends, I have been working on a TV show. It's not a TV show that's like, hey, tune in on NBC on this day and you'll be able to see it. It is, last year I did a short film, which I believe I talked about on the podcast, called Nod. And they reached out to me earlier this year and they said, hey, we are going to spin off, do a TV series based around your character in Nod. Would you want to be involved? And of course I said yes. And so this is like a student project. It's at Biola University. And so I went, so for these past 2 weekends, I've been down there, and I had an incident that I'm not proud of where my inner bear took over, and I was doing really good. Like the first, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so all day Friday I was on set. And if you've been on a TV show set or a movie set, even at a school, there's the craft services table, and it just has snacks out all the time. It's like one of the things about working in production is there's always a craft service area, and there's always just all kinds of food. Of course, there's fruit and vegetables, and but then there's also chips and cookies and all this other stuff. And I actually, not to divert too much from the original story, I worked on a production a week ago that was a little higher produced production, not a student film. And they had and I was doing the Noom thing. They had these little containers of fruit that were just the perfect size. And like whenever I would get hungry, I would just go have one of those and I would not be hungry anymore. And they would have grapes in them, and grapes are poisonous to dogs. So we don't have grapes here at the house because we have Harvey. And so like grapes are like a treat. And so all day I was just eating things eating the little containers with grapes in them because they were so good. But getting back to this TV show thing, on Saturday, we had worked all day Saturday. I had eaten things, but then by the time we were out, I was hungry, and it was going to be at least an hour until I got home. And so I'm driving, and I'm kind of thinking the places I could go, and my inner bear took over, and I went to McDonald's. And McDonald's now, I haven't been to McDonald's in a while, but McDonald's now, they have kiosks. You can still, there's one counter register place, but then there's just kiosks where you put your order in. And so I was ordering, and apparently I misordered, like there was something where I ordered, I think like a cheeseburger. No, it wasn't. It was, I ordered a 6-piece Chicken McNugget, and then it said, hey, there's a deal right now where you could get 2 6-piece Chicken McNuggets. And I said, oh, okay, that sounds great. I'll have 2. That's fantastic. What I didn't realize was when I put the 2, I was actually putting 2 of the 2 6-piece Chicken McNugget deals. So when the tray came to the table, I had 4 6-piece Chicken McNuggets. And friends, the inner bear took over, and I ate no, I didn't eat all. I ate about 18 of those nuggets. I think there was 2 left. And I felt miserable, and I felt awful. And I really kind of beat myself up when that happens. And, but the next day I got right back onto the Noom thing, and my weight one of the other things about Noom is you weigh yourself every day, so you really know what your weight is. And of course, the next day my weight went up. But because I got right back onto eating that way, and like the next couple of days, I was lower than I was that Saturday morning. So that's kind of what I like about this Noom thing, because you can kind of go off. I still tracked everything. Even though I ate way too much, I still tracked everything in the Noom app. And like last night, I got really hungry. So this was about a week later. I got really hungry, and I was trying to think what I wanted to go eat. And I just decided I was going to go. We have this place called Fat Burger, which is hamburgers. And so I got the Fat Burger and the order of fries, and both of those things will use up your Noom points, whatever they're called. They'll use that up like lightning. It'll be so fast. So I had that last night. But then this morning, because I have been doing the Noom stuff every day and I tracked everything, I actually weighed less than I did yesterday. So that's why I'm liking this Noom thing. And it's not an ad. I'm not sponsored by Noom, but I'm liking it because they are. It's working. It's working, and I'm gonna stick to it, and I'm gonna keep doing my workouts and my walking. I'm going to let the inner bear win every once in a while, but it can certainly not be every single day. I think, it's a little bit like having a cheat meal. If you're working out, like once a week, you have a cheat meal or whatever. But I want to wrap up here with a story. When I agreed to do this television series at Biola University, it was supposed to be Halloween weekend and then the first weekend of November. And then they reached out and they said, we've had some issues. Can we move it to the first 2 weekends of November? And I agreed, not realizing that the second weekend of November, my wife would be out of town because her niece was getting married. And so I would have to stay with Harvey. So that suddenly became, if we're doing 12-hour shoot days, Harvey cannot stay at home just all by himself. He has to come with me to the shoot. So I reached out to the shoot and I explained the situation and I said, I can do this move, but Harvey has to come with me. And they were like, we would love to have Harvey with us. So it was very great. But the thing was, going down with Harvey or a dog, it is like a little bit like traveling with a baby, right? Like you have to pack a bag of food, because if it's a 12-hour day, right? You got to pack a bag of food. You got to do all this stuff. Now, Harvey has a stroller. I don't push him around in the stroller. When he's with me, he's got to hoof it. But Suzanne will go out for super long walks, and she will take Harvey in the stroller, and that way he can do like a multi-mile walk, but he's in the stroller and he's just riding along. So I was like, the easiest thing to do here is to bring the stroller, and then he can just be sort of in the stroller when I'm shooting things. I can wheel the stroller onto the soundstage. He'll be within eye shot of me, and it'll be perfect. And it really did. It really worked out great. And let me just say, this weekend I just, of course, I love Harvey to pieces. But this weekend I was like, he is such a good dog. He came Saturday and Sunday, the whole day to the shoot, both days. He didn't make one peep. He was friendly to everybody. Now, I will say, I don't think he liked it. I think it was a little overstimulating for him because he just wouldn't relax. Like he sat up and was just watching what everybody was doing at all times. And it wasn't noisy like, oh, there's a lot of yelling or anything like that, but there's talking and there's people around and all this other stuff. So the first day, Saturday, when we were there from 9 to about 7 o'clock at night, he was basically awake that entire time. There was a moment around, I want to say like 5 o'clock or so, where we were in kind of the cast holding room, and it was quiet because one of the other puppeteers was in there, and they were just being quiet, and Harvey was just being quiet, and I think he did snooze a little bit, but it was just a little too much for him. He couldn't relax at all because of everything going on. And I will say that Saturday night we left. And we left about 7:30. It took an hour to get home. We got home around 8:30. I took him on a quick walk just on the sidewalk outside of the house here. And he did some of his business. I brought him in. I gave him dinner. He ate his food, and then he went right upstairs and laid on his bed and just was out. He was just zonked. And so I came down into my studio room where I'm recording this, and I was doing some computer work. I wasn't talking or live streaming or anything like that. I was doing work. And all of a sudden I hear, because my studio room is right next to the staircase, I hear him coming down the stairs. And I turn and look, and he comes around the corner, and his tail is wagging. He is just wagging so hard. And I realize, I look at the clock, that it's 10:30, and at 10:30 at night, he gets his last walk. So we take him out for his last walk. And so I was like, oh, you're ready for your walk, huh? Okay, let's go. And he became a puppy. He was doing the spin and circles thing. He was wagging so hard. He was running in front of me, like just, as I was walking behind him. And he just kept turning around to look to see if I was going with him. And then we get to this part where we're going to go straight through the kitchen and into the living room. And he makes a right and goes back upstairs and gets back on the bed. So he was coming down to get me. He was like, listen, we've had a long day. It's time for bed. You need to go to bed. Let's go. So I had to get him, go out. We got to go outside, go for a walk. But the whole reason I'm telling you this story is that on Sunday, our call time was noon, which was great, because I knew it wasn't going to be a 12-hour shoot day, and it was going to be a shorter day, so he would only be down there for a shorter amount of time. He was a little more relaxed on yesterday, on Sunday, and I think that's just because he had been down there before, so he kind of knew, once he got in there, he knew what to expect. But when we were going to leave, as I said, it's like a baby. I got to bring a couple dishes of his food, because Harvey eats 4 times a day, because if he goes too long without eating, he will throw up, because it's just the way his stomach is built. So we feed him a normal amount of food. We just break it up into 4 small meals throughout the day. So so I have the bag with his stuff in it. He's got a little raincoat in case it's raining, because it's raining here. There is a towel to cover the stroller. I have all this stuff. I have my backpack. I have my bottle of water, and I get him all ready to go. He's on his leash. He's in his little sweater because it's cold. He doesn't have a lot of hair on his body, and he's sitting on the couch, and I have all this stuff in my hand, and I look at him and I say, I'll be right back. You stay here. Be a good boy. I'll be right back. I go out the front door. As the front door is closing, literally as the door is in motion, in my head, I say to myself, I don't have keys, and that door is locked right now. I reach for the door just as it closes, and I have now locked myself out. And sitting a mere 3-4 feet from where I was standing is a little dog who wants more than nothing to go outside, more than anything, I should say, to go outside, because I told him I would be right back, and the door is locked. Now, we do not have a hide key because that freaks me out security-wise. Sure would have been nice to have one yesterday. So I call Suzanne, who's in Boston, and I just said, your friend has a key to the house, right? Didn't we give her a key to the house? And Suzanne says, yes, we did. And I go, can I get her number? Why? Well, I locked the door, and Harvey is inside the house. So I call Suzanne's friend. She has a key. She only lives in Burbank, so it's not far away. And she's like, well, I'll drive it over. And I was like, no. This was my mistake. I don't want to inconvenience you. I will come over and pick it up. I'll just take an Uber over because I didn't have car keys. I couldn't drive the car, right? If I had my car keys, I would have keys to the house. So I take an Uber over there. It's $17. I take an Uber back. It's another $17. And as I'm driving there to Suzanne's friend's house, I look on the webcam, and there is the saddest little dog sitting on the couch. And he's laid down, but he's just staring at the front door. And I will make this picture the episode art for this episode, so your heart can break too, to see this little dog sitting on the ottoman, just waiting for the door to open so that he can go. And I'm able to go. I get the key. As I'm coming back, I notice that Harvey has moved. He has moved over to the other end of the couch where there's some blankets, but he's dragged his poor little leash all the way over. So the leash is just across the couch where he is gone. I get there. I open the door. He is facing away from the door now, and he just turns and looks over his shoulder, and he's giving me side eye. And he's like, mm-hmm. And I go, all right, buddy, come on. It's time to go. And he just puts his head down and looks away from me. And I had to go over, and eventually I couldn't get him to move. I had to pick him up to take him out. We did make it to the place on time. And we made it with like 15 minutes to spare. And it was an hour-long drive. So the timing all worked out. I will say I would rather pay the, what was it? Like 30, 35, $40 for the Uber than whatever an emergency locksmith was going to cost me. So yeah, it was a time, but it all worked out. Everything was good. Harvey had a good day on set, and that's the end of the story. All right, friends, that's going to do it for this episode of the Grantcast. I want to thank you so much for listening. Really, really appreciate it. We'll be back soon, and I hope you're having a great day. And I need a sign off, and I don't have it, so I will just say goodbye. This episode of the Grantcast was made possible by the Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons who've gone to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up a pledge for as little as $1 a month. Patrons at the behind-the-scenes level and above get access to a video of the recording of these podcast episodes, and all patrons get access to the audio of these episodes the moment they are edited. Big shout out to all of our patrons, and a special shout out to our patron producers Kathy Crawford, Eve Cunning, David Akers, Tony Urbano, Brandy, Scott Armstrong, Paul, Ricky Chavez, and Lee Thompson. If you'd like to become a patron and receive commercial-free episodes of the Grantcast before they are released, visit patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up your monthly pledge today. And thank you for your support. This episode of the Grantcast is copyright 2025 Saturday Morning Media, Grant Baciocco, executive producer, all rights reserved. www.saturdaymorningmedia.com.
You've been listening to Saturday Morning Media. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.